So this goblin, right, performed a coup over here, and took over the accidental sealing, right? So the goblin Astrog toppled the government of the dwarf Rimtar Bronze Living of the accidental sealing and assumed control in Rinsletters in support of the dwarf Kivish and the dwarf Risen, who was crucial to the coup. So took part in a coup, took over the accidental sealing, which is our faction. In the year 5, Astrog Openhexes was a goblin. He was the third eldest son of Ago Sludge Wraiths and Sunitsu Bitterdread, the white disloyalty of judging. Apparently got attacked by a Savannah Titan at the age of, 7? He was the third eldest, yeah. Third eldest. And fought, defeated the latter, escaped unscathed. So, cut his teeth fighting with a Titan. This Titan was only one of its kind, an enormous three-eyed petrosaur. It has a pair of long antennae, and it moves about carelessly. Its white scales are oval-shaped and close-set. Beware its deadly spittle. Okay. Had a lover, became a fisherman in Doomed Belts. Broke up with the lover a couple of years later, 5 years later. Gave up being a fisherman to become a trapper. Found another lover. Got married, actually, to Aslot. Became a trapper, settled in Rapid Bridges, became a weaponsmith in Rapid Bridges, became a member of the Defined Guild, which is a weaponsmith's guild of the World of Wind, which appears to be a dwarven guild. Is Rapid Bridges a dwarven fortress? Yeah, so it's a dwarven fortress. Literally moved into a dwarven. This goblin moved into a dwarven fortress when they were born in the year 5, and in the year 28 moved into a dwarven fortress. Or rather, not 28. In 32 moved into a dwarven fortress. That's pretty quick. That's a pretty quick turnaround. Clearly didn't like the goblin way of life and murder, I suppose. In the midsummer of 36, Astrog settled in Scholar Denses, and fooled the Paint of Passing into believing he was the monster slayer Iwell Beat Specs, the Paint of Passing, of the Paint of Passing. So fooled them into believing that they were a monster slayer in this dwarven group. Visited Rapid Bridges, that goblin placing, or the dwarven fortress, to gather information. Became the alderperson of the Defiled Guild, which is a weapons guild, so a elder person. Got divorced finally in the year 49. Found a new lover in the same year. Someone's disloyal. Began embezzling funds of the Defiled Guild, the Weaponsmiths Guild. Definitely a fort of bards, yes. Old sorry. Granite helped. Was claimed from afar, so he's acting as a criminal. He's trying to claim this legendary bismuth bronze warhammer, which apparently eventually gets offered to him by an elf. He's claiming the Veil of Lashes, which is a legendary silver spear. '79 became as the monster slayer, so he's using this false identity. Corrupted an ex-spouse of Aslot. He corrupted his ex-spouse Aslot as the monster. So he's pretending to be somebody else and corrupted his ex-lover in order to have someone that acts on plots in Dipshoot. Met with his ex-wife, Aslot, or ex-lover, ex-partner, and offered a bribe. Aslot spurred the law and willingly agreed despite feeling no averse. Plotted to infiltrate the Dread of Moons to prepare a coup under the influence of Astrog, which is interesting. The Dread of Moons was a goblin civilization. So initially he's trying to prepare a coup of his original civilization. The Dread of Moons is where this guy was born. Became a member of the sect of Avalanches, which is a human religion. Worshipping the human goddess of metals, which takes the form of a female human. Continued acting as this monster slayer and trying to corrupt dwarves in Dipshoot, which is a dwarven group from called the Boat of Wings, which is a different dwarven faction. So he's trying to prepare another coup now. He's like a serial coup developer. Began accepting bribes in exchange for leniency in the Evils of Naughtiness, which is that outcast group that he joined. Formed a false friendship. Okay, so it seems like this guy and this dwarf, or this goblin and this goblin's ex-partner, Aslot Vigorlie, seem to be taking turns corrupting each other. So here, formed a false, like, this is his ex-partner, who he was married to, pretending to be the monster slayer Yushrir, forming a false friendship with Astrog. So either they're really bad at recognizing each other, or they're both in on this. This is kind of hysterical. Like, they're both like putting on disguises and being like, I have like a funny set of glasses and a fake nose and a mustache. I'm this completely different person. Now, go and embezzle funds for me. That's very funny that they keep corrupting each other. And then here in 148, corrupted somebody else to have an agent in Dripshoot. Astrog as the monster slayer corrupted a dwarf Edom in Dripshoot. Claimed the Quincent Right, which is a legendary dwarf skull totem. Okay. Wants a dwarven skull. Monster Slayer, Astrog as the same Monster Slayer corrupted a dwarf to have an agent in Coppername. Coppername is of the Accidental Sealing. Okay, here we go. Starting to get agents in the Accidental Sealing. Plotted to steal the Quincent Right. Seems very ineffective so far. And then we're getting close to what happened here. So the Monster Slayer, Irel, vote of passing. So basically corrupted a whole bunch of different dwarves to have agents. Including, okay, the Monster Slayer, as the Monster Slayer Irel, so using his Monster Slayer disguise, corrupted Burr, the Obscure Spider, the Knowing Tricks in order to have an agent in Hunger Sin. The dwarf, Limul lured the dwarf, Vubok, oh wait, hold on. Sorry, the Sodeb lured Burr to have a meeting with Aslot. So literally still working with Aslot. So Aslot is like working to, his ex-wife is the one that's like actually having meetings with people. So like in the hierarchy of this plot, we have the Aslot Vigorlie, who's this goblin's ex-wife, who is corrupting people on behalf of this goblin to prepare coups at all these different locations. And then finally, the Monster Slayer Rel corrupted the dwarf Risen to have an agent in Rin's letters. The dwarf, the dwarf Kivish lured the dwarf Risen to have a meeting with Aslot Vigorlie, where the latter made a threat. Then Risen was too afraid to not comply, despite valuing the law and the efforts of the surrounding allies to stop the plot. And then toppled the government of the dwarf Rimtar Bronzeliving of the Accidental Sealing, and assumed control in Rin's letters in support of the dwarf Kivish, and became the king of the Accidental Sealing. Well, I mean, honestly, you know, so, okay, look at this. In the year 220, Astrog became the king of the Accidental Sealing and moved out of the poison nuts of the Evils of Naughtiness. You know, frankly, if I was to move out of anywhere, I too would move out of the poison nuts of the Evils of Naughtiness. I too would do that. I definitely would move out of the poison nuts of the Evils of Naughtiness. Yeah, reading forward, due to ongoing surveillance plot unfolded, Aslot was convicted of treason by the Boat of Wings and sentenced to death. The Boat of Wings was a dwarven group of the World of Wind. So a dwarven group, so I guess after the plot completed and they successfully took over with the coup, Where is it? Yeah, it was executed by the dwarves. Due to the ongoing surveillance of the plot, Aslot was convicted of treason by the Boat of Wings and sentenced to death. Implicated Astrog, Open Hexes, and the dwarf Arash Golden Bear during the interrogation. So, was convicted of treason. And Astrog, of course, you know, being our Goblin King. So there must have still been some dwarves loyal to the original throne that accused Astrog and Astrog's partner in crime, literally, of treason. Which is pretty nuts, actually. But this is where this gets kind of even more interesting. Look at this. So then just like normal dwarf stuff, right? Lots of celebrations, many ceremonies, crossbow throwing competitions, wrestling competitions, very standard dwarven affair. But then this starts happening. Wrestling competition, and then started attacking people. So in the year 240, fought in the onslaught of drilling against Axe Winters. Axe Winters were mountain halls. So they start attacking other dwarven locations. Same with the attack on Quakes and Copperknown. These are other dwarven locations. Continues with the wrestling competitions and all that stuff. And then attacked Trotted Yell, which was a human civilization. Became friends with an elf in the horror of combat. Cemented a friendship with the dwarf. More crossbow throwing competitions. In the year 247, the king Astrog still is sneaking off and using that monster slayer disguise. Irel Boat's Picks of the Faint of Passing, and he corrupted lover Olongo in order to have someone act in plots and schemes. So once again, finds a new partner and is corrupting them to go continue their plots and schemes. So, got married super young, used his partner the entire way up to corrupt and lie and cheat his way into literally staging a coup against a dwarven civilization, and now is corrupting his next lover. Yeah, became lovers in 244, after actually getting divorced. So this character up here, this female goblin, divorced Ushbu, their previous partner, became lovers with the king, and then immediately took part in a foot race, and then immediately starts getting corrupted by the king. You lying cheat. He's probably got a pretty, also probably had a hand in the execution of his previous wife. Anyway, plotted to infiltrate, Olongo plotted to infiltrate the Paint of Passing in order to prepare a coup under the influence of Astrog, which is a dwarven civilization. So now he's going after a different dwarven civilization. And then this is where shit gets nuts. So I want to see what happens there. The accidental sealing just continues to do plenty of dwarven things. Then the king... Corrupted lover. Took part in a bunch of foot races. Plotted to steal that totem once again. And then Astrog plotted to assassinate Bax. Approached by M to handle the matter directly through another party. Bax was a goblin, the first of his kind. One of the first of his kind. Didn't really do anything notable until the year 223. Literally had the plot to get assassinated. Why did you want to assassinate this guy? They tried to assassinate him twice. 3 times. He's still alive, too. Why do you want to assassinate this guy? You have, no relation. Yeah, literally no relation. Anyway, plotted to assassinate and then fought in the dangerous sieges. But look at this. Started fighting in these wars. Look at these numbers. Astrog clashed with 2,542 goblins in Rinsletters, slaying 7. Clashed with 2,472 goblins, slaying 7. Clashed with 2,477 goblins in Rinsletters, slaying 7. Clashed with 2,338 goblins. Fought in the assault of Soaring on Rinsletters. Clashed with 2,004. Like, look at this. This is our mountain home. I guess our mountain home is just constantly under siege. No, this isn't just him. He's taking part in these defenses. So the king is taking part in the defenses with the Mountain Home's army. Yeah. 2,000, like, always. Hey, oh, hold on. He got better at a point. Slaying 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 8, okay, 9. Okay, how many kills does this guy have? And he's still trying to assassinate Box. 59 kills total. Wow. Well, that is the complete history of the Goblin King Astrog until current era of the accidental sealing. Okush is a deity that occurs in the myths of the Point of Passing, most often depicted as a male dwarf and is associated with lightning and the rain. So he worships the dwarven god of lightning and the rain. Our king does. And also worships Ves, which is a deity that occurs in the myths of the Allied Empires, takes the form of a female human, is associated with metals. So the human god of metals and the dwarven god Thor. Samitsu Bitten Dread of the White Disloyalty of Judging was a goblin. He was one of the first of his kind. He was a scout and... Okay, well, he doesn't do that much. He was a... Okay, hold on. The position of Cult of Seductions was created by the position of Lord... Or created the position of Lord, pushed by a wave of popular support. So the Occult Seductions was a goblin group. He created the position of Lord. So he's one of the first of the goblins that helped found the Occult Seductions, became Lord of the Occult Seductions. Found a lover, got married, divorced, found a lover, broke up, found a lover, got married, murdered 3 dwarves. Formed a false friendship with previous lover. Hold on. No, hold on. Soma is somebody else. Formed a false friendship to get information. Claimed the Veil of Lashes, which was later claimed by the king. So that's probably why the king claimed the Veil of Lashes, because Dad did. Found another lover. Oh, hey. Here's 68. Astrog, our king, as the Monster Slayer. As the Monster Slayer, corrupted his dad in order to have an agent and rung demons. And plotted to steal the Veil of Lashes under the influence of his kid. Okay, so his dad stole the Veil of Lashes as part of him. Successfully, with the Veil of Lashes, which was a legendary silver spear. And then gave it to him. His dad got married again, murdered a dwarf. He's very much a serial killer. Held a foot race, or the Paint of Passing held a foot race, and he took part. Murdered somebody else. Divorced his wife. Took part in another foot race. Found a lover, got married, murdered somebody, got divorced. Found a lover, got married, murdered somebody. Took part in a festival, foot race. Fitted Shadows, the Island of Feed, was offered to Smitsu, which was a legendary Iron Scourge. Murdered a dwarf, took part in a foot race, murdered a dwarf, got divorced, fought in the gory attack in Seal Vial. Salak Smitsu cemented a bond of friendship amidst the horror of combat. Held a foot race, found a lover, got married, held a foot race, got divorced, murdered somebody, found another lover who became a rotten zombie later, murdered a human, that's a change, constructed Plated Twilight, which was a monastery for the Golden Dominion, broke up with his lover, found a new lover, broke up, found a new lover, found a new lover, murdered 2 people, human and an elf, respectively. Zombie attempted to corrupt him, but the plot failed. Another person attempted to corrupt him, and he refused. Refused another corruption, and he refused. Foot race, murdered an elf. Aslot Vigorlie, as the poet Snowdub, Web Devil, the Wrath of Scabs, formed a false friendship with him in order to extract information. He took part in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 foot races, and broke up with another lover. Fought in the onslaught of monsters on the assault of seduced puppets. Yeah, I too see a pattern. Got married, got divorced, became infatuated with Uspu. Hold on. So Uspu was a lover of Bax, who is the person the king is trying to assassinate. I think. Took part in a bunch of foot races, murdered another elf, got married, got divorced, got married, got divorced, became infatuated, fought in a bunch of battles, got married again, fought in a couple more battles. 14 notable kills and 1 other kill. Focusing was a dwarven vampire. It's settled in Endurn after settling in Greenhide. Okay, it should have stayed in... I read that as Greenhide, not Gearedhide, and I'm sad now, because Greenhide would have been the best dragon name ever for a location. Became a brewer. Cemented a bond of friendship amidst the horror of combat. Moved to a few different places. Cemented a bond of friendship. Was trying to extract him from... someone named Odom was trying to extract information from him. So this guy becomes the vampire, by the way. There you go. So in the year 157, Lycot, our vampire, profaned the temple of Aquamarine in Vision Floors, and was cursed to stalk the night in search of blood. Fought in the onslaught of razors. The Silvers of Brilliance was claimed by Lycot from afar, which was a iron crossbow. Broke up with their lover, divorced their wife, found a new lover. Got attacked by a forgotten beast who was Mindbury the Umbral, a forgotten beast, was the only one of its kind. A skinless Dimitrodon. Has a pair of branching antennae and a gaunt appearance. Beware its fire. Lycot married Mural. And then Lycot aroused general suspicion after a murder. Who did you murder? Interesting. Aroused general suspicion after a murder. Fled to Boltlast. Became a tavern keeper. And just a strange wandering tavern keeper. Began working in the Geared Mushroom. Okay, that's a really good tavern name. In Boltlast. Someone pretending to be the prophet Edzul, the dutiful page, formed a false friendship in order to extract information. I mean, that's a good thing, the person to, like, form a false friendship with the barkeeper. Became a hammerer in the mythical tombs, or tomes, I guess. And Lycot divorced Morel bust laws. And Lycot and Cogsack became lovers. In the early autumn of 178, Lycot aroused general suspicion after another murder. Fled to Cobalt Gang. Lycot married Cogsack. Became a prophet in Cobalt Gang. Lycot fled to End-Earn. That's so hard to say, End-Earn. Became a philosopher in End-Earn. Began an apprenticeship under this elf. Moved to study under Giltros. Created Doubts About Fairness. Legendary Agate Codex. That's an 18-page essay. It concerns the value of fairness. This is after they're using the false name, too, because it says it's authored by Avos, by the way, who doesn't exist, by the way, because they're this dwarf. Began wandering the wilds after taking part in some fights. Aroused general suspicion. Decided to become a mercenary. Aroused general suspicion. Fled to Skycraft, which is a Minecraft mod, definitely. Moved to study in Valley Gem. Wrote a book, The Turquoise Dunes. So he's like a traveling author who eats people. Took part in a bunch of fights. Found a lover. Broke up. Found a lover. Got married. Took part in a bunch of fights. Remember, chat, 0 kill. And You Sang Heaven was authored by Lycot. Became a member of the Vile Incidents. And then took up residence in Steamy Mind of the Sprayed Wheels and the Style Joints. And then settled in Waterlungs in 258. Became a member of the Accidental Sealing. Fooled the Accidental Sealing into believing that he was Avwa's ankle ships. Became a member of the Born Child. Became a member of Waterlungs, the company of Aquamarines. Took part in our battles. Drained Zas of blood in Waterlungs. Fought in the assaults. Drained Aban of blood in Waterlungs. Drained Dusum of blood in Waterlungs. Was convicted of murder. And sentenced to 50 hammer strikes and imprisoned for a term of 8 months. 50 more hammer strikes and imprisoned for a term of 8 months. 50 more hammer strikes and imprisoned for a term of 8 months. We got sieged, 8 2 more people. 50 more hammer strokes and 8 more months. 50 more hammer strokes and 8 more months. So according to this, it's got 6 notable kills and 148 other kills. 17 dwarves, 15 dwarves, 12 goblins, 14 goblins, 2 male dwarves, 2 female dwarves, 1 elf, 2 male elves, 4 goblins, 2 goblins, 3 goblins, 3 goblins, 2 goblins, 1 goblin, 5 dwarves, 8 dwarves, 3 dwarves, 1 dwarf, 2 dwarves, 2 dwarves, 1 fist of the night, not a fist of the North Star, 5 skunkmen, that smells bad, 16 sparrowmen, how did you catch them? 13 sparrowmen, 1 elf, 3 skunk women, and 1 elf and a zombie dwarf. 0 kill.